Fallout New Vegas is getting multiplayer. New Vegas is, of course, one of the fan favorite games and has been for years now. And pretty soon, or even right now, if you want to try a test build, you could actually play Fallout New Vegas with others, or in the future, even host your own modded servers of the game. And what I'm talking about today is a fan-made mod known as New Vegas Multiplayer. And I know for some of you, that probably sounds pretty familiar. As several years even before Fallout 76, there was a mod for Fallout New Vegas that did add in multiplayer functionality, and it actually was pretty active. For around 2 years, this was really something special. There were some roleplay aspects, a lot of PvP going on, and the community did seem to love it, having its highs and lows. But in early 2019, it was announced that the mod would be put on indefinite hiatus, and really even before that, things were definitely on the decline development-wise, but now we find ourselves 2 years later with the mod starting back up again, and really in a totally revitalized version, this known as New Vegas Multiplayer X. NVMPx being a complete rewrite of the original mod from the ground up. And this is pretty incredible because you could just play this right now if you own Fallout New Vegas, of course, on PC. Download New Vegas, download the installer for New Vegas Multiplayer, then you have to join the voice chat channel in their Discord because it is still in beta testing, so that's kind of the barrier to entry. And then from there, the launcher will launch you into Fallout New Vegas and immediately connect you to the active server for this mod, and then you're playing New Vegas Multiplayer. It even has things like auto updates and auto downloading some of the mods on the server. You start off in a familiar New Vegas location at Goodsprings with a few basic items on you, and you are basically just now in an online server of Fallout New Vegas. This is extremely easy to set up. If you're playing this, a couple of things you'll notice right off the bat. You may encounter players immediately in Goodsprings. There tend to be a few hanging out here. The way things work right now is Goodsprings is a safe zone, so PvP is disabled in this area. And although in first person it does look pretty traditional, if you go into third person, you can actually see a lot of details. Other players' names, their levels, and some stats in general. It kind of has a MMO styled HUD applying to the world space overall, and a lot of those NPCs you can encounter. But from here, whether you want to play with some strangers that you find on the server, or even just have a couple of your friends join in the process, you're playing Fallout New Vegas Multiplayer. Quest syncing isn't fully functional yet, so it's not like there is full-fledged co-op, but you get to loot, fight, explore. I just met up with a couple of random people on the server, and we kind of went on a mini adventure. And for this being in an early access build, it is almost shocking how good this worked. Like in a matter of 10-20 minutes, I was able to connect, meet a couple of people, and just start go adventuring around, taking down creatures in New Vegas with the full world space at our disposal, and all of us taking down enemies collectively and looting some of those various corpses. PvP is also a feature in this. They do have rules against RDMing, and again, Goodsprings is a safe zone, but if you do get in a fight with someone, this too works really well. I'm actually surprised at how well this is all functioning together. Knowing this, I am definitely fighting who way out levels me and has way better equipment than me, but it gave you a look at the potential here. I could definitely see entire servers dedicated around this feature for some pretty special and cool experiences. And even if you want to just do something like massacring Goodsprings, like every New Vegas player has probably done at some point, you could do that. Now, for obvious reasons, some stuff isn't fully functional. VATS doesn't work because you can't freeze time on a multiplayer Fallout New Vegas. Upon death, you will respawn at Goodsprings with the same starting item, so a pistol as well as a lab coat, a few stim packs to help you on your way. You can fast travel around once you actually discover certain locations, but these are reset right now on relog. But your inventory overall is saved, so if you do a bunch of looting and then log off and come back, you will have all of those items. And as I've been saying numerous times throughout this video, for early access, for something that was just rebuilt from the ground up earlier this year, this does feel pretty phenomenal. It's not fully up to par with the old version if you were familiar with that 2019 build, but overall it has much less crashing, it is not nearly as buggy, player sync is way better, so you can actually see what other people are wearing and what weapons they are holstering. That's not even a feature in Fallout 76 right now, and it wasn't a feature in the old version of this mod. As of right now, private servers are definitely a priority, something that is consistently mentioned and being actively worked on, as well as a well-documented modding SDK for us to even get more custom and unique multiplayer experiences. And even just over the past couple of weeks, as I've actually been filming this video and looking into the mod overall, it has been getting updates, like in-game voice chat was just added. So rather than having to rely on text or using Discord, you just start talking to people in game, and it does have proximity, people get quieter as you run away. It is really cool. And don't fret, you can disable this if things are not going according to plan. And although there's definitely a lot of ways to have fun with this mod, even already, just messing around in the world of New Vegas with others, the future for this looks extremely extremely promising. That's really one of the cornerstone ideas and main goals they have going forward is for users to actually be able to host their own servers, which of course will support things like mods. And down the road, actually having full-fledged co-op so you can do questing together with others in Fallout New Vegas. Technically, this already has mod support. So when you connect to the test server right now, you are technically using a mod, a rebalance mod that is on the server. But thus far, since there are no private servers or no ways for you to upload your own mods to this public server, that's not really a thing as far as other custom mods, but it is coming. And with this overall, I could see a ton of incentive for people coming back to Fallout New Vegas just to play the game with others. One of the really exciting things about the direction they are taking this is they're going to have this public server that almost has an MMO vibe to it, but also you could just host your own private server. And I imagine if this does get popular enough, some of these private servers may have some interesting themes or interesting functionality. Like imagine a PvP focused private server at some point where you just get a completely unique and interesting New Vegas experience that you've never had before. And if you look at what's here already, I think you can easily extrapolate to see the potential this will have in the future. For me, this is easily going to be one of my most anticipated mods and definitely one to keep an eye on. With that said, as exciting as this is, it's not the only New Vegas mod that I wanted to talk about in this video, as there's recently been some updates and changes with Fallout The Frontier. The Frontier being the largest Fallout mod to ever release, but it of course had some problems, or quite a few problems on release. It had controversies as far as the actual content of the mod itself, but even further, controversies and seemingly illegal activities from members of the team. But with that said, they're trying to move past that, and the future for this actually does look fairly promising. So following the initial release and backlash with the Frontier, a lot of work was done on just actually updating the mod, removing the content made by certain team members, other people requesting their content get removed due to the drama, and just fixing things like bugs and the like. But in the past couple of months, they actually have announced some larger scale reworks of some of the mod's content. They've been working to actually replace a lot of the content that had to be removed, but even further, they have announced how they are redoing the NCR questline. If you didn't play the Frontier, basically the NCR questline felt a lot like Call of Duty, very linear, very combat focused, and although there was quite a few interesting mechanics with this, it was not really like a Fallout game. It felt like you were playing Call of Duty in New Vegas's engine. But over a month ago now, they revealed the rewrite will hopefully make it so it is not as linear, as well as it'll just open up the Frontier to more types of players. But even beyond that, a lot of other work has been done, updating some of the interiors for vehicles, some of the interior locations, and even with some of the weapons to appear in the Frontier, creating new and interesting versions of them, as well as actually a ton of new music has been created. And it seems like this is going very well thus far. The team now is larger than it ever has been before, actually 3 times the size of the previous team, as their strategy now is to get rid of some of that old, less ideal content and actually take in some of the community's feedback for improving things going forward. So obviously things are still pretty early on with all of this, but I just wanted to add it at the end of this video to kind of keep you up to date, to mention that they are trying to fix things, to try and make that comeback that many other games and now a big mod are having to do. But either way, it's definitely something interesting to keep an eye on, in addition to, of course, the development of Fallout New Vegas multiplayer. With that said, hopefully you guys found this one informative. A lot of interesting stuff still happening with New Vegas, even now as we get even a bit closer to its 11-year anniversary, which is absolutely insane. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.